What's up, friends? What's up, friends? Happy Saturday. Let's do that one more time. We made it to the end of the week. Happy Saturday. Happy to be with y'all. Let me turn the music down just a touch. Just a touch. Because we are live, we are here, and I am excited to be with you all. Happy Saturday. One last time. One last time. Hi. Welcome to Corey Codes. For those who don't know me, my name is Corey Weathers, and I am super excited to be with you all today. I used to start my intros by saying I have the privilege and pleasure of leading one of our amazing developer content teams at Auth0. And guess what, friends? I no longer can say that. I'm currently unemployed, which is kind of crazy. It's a wild time. And no, I didn't get fired. No, my position wasn't laid off, but I'm currently in between jobs. So yeah, I'm here with y'all. I'm hanging out with y'all. We start the new gig very soon. I'm going to share some information about that in the coming days and weeks. But it is nice to be here. I'm going to cheer for me, yeah? Yeah. That being said, we lit the stream back up to connect with you all. Different people, developers in the community, folks who are interested in tech, and the whole nine. So, we're just here. We're hanging out, and we're having fun. And that's all that matters, yeah? Our friend Frackberg is in the house. Every time we do our stream, we love to acknowledge our friends in chat. I normally don't start on this screen, but I started here today because our friend Frackberg is here. I had a couple of friends reach out to me during the week to say that they would be joining today. So welcome Frackberg. Glad to have you. Where's the air horn? Now Frackberg, let me do for our friends joining us on Twitch. Frackberg is a streamer. Let me see if I can get his shout out in here. There it goes. For our friends joining us on Twitch, Frackberg is a fellow streamer. Make sure you go hit the follow button, right? Make sure you follow his page. Glad to be with you. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Yeah, not a tech streamer, but a streamer nonetheless. When we support our streamers, right? The streaming community has to support each other. So, yeah. To your point there, Frackberg, I was talking to someone. Oh God, I can't remember when. I had a conversation early this week about working out and how I'd gotten back into working out and how I had to reset because we had a nasty case. I don't think I shared this on stream, but a few weeks ago we had a nasty case of hand, foot, mouth running through my house, and so I had to disinfect everything. And the space that I used to work out in still needs a proper, really good deep cleaning. So I haven't worked out in like a week, which is actually quite a fail. Yeah, it's quite the fail. But we do the best that we can. So I got to get back into it. Our friend Frackberg will sometimes hang out, work out on stream as well, and get us going. Same for you all. If this is your first time joining, please don't be shy. Definitely say hi. We'd welcome you here in the chat. Yeah. That being said, it is the end of the week. It is the other thing. It's August, and those who don't know. Okay. So if you're new to the stream, you may not know this. My birthday is in August, so it is our birthday month. We absolutely cheer for that. Hit the trumpets. Yeah. It is my birthday month. Next week, I turn 40 years old. I'm very excited about that. One more time. Hit the trumpets for that. So I am super excited. It is one of these times where we light up a new stream, we get a new job, we take some time off to go transition, we celebrate all the things. Next week I turn 40. Week after I really kick off my new job. So I'm blessed. I'm stoked. We have reasons to celebrate around here. These are mine. If you've got reasons to celebrate, please don't hesitate to drop them in chat like our friend Frackberg did. Frackberg celebrated a birthday last year. Congrats, Frackberg. Congrats. Happy belated birthday. It is. I've been to a lot of funerals this year. And I believe that it is a blessing to be able to do this thing called life. So I am excited to see another day, and I hope you all are as well. Yeah. We got one more thing happening before we sort of talk about why and what we're working on stream today. We got one more thing that I want to talk about, which is, so I had a friend reach out to me who said that they were considering getting into DevRel. Now, for those who don't know, DevRel, Developer Relations, is the job function that I do. It is very much about helping developers. I always say DevRel is really about helping developers succeed at the thing they set out to do, right? So if you want to learn how to code, we help you learn how to code. You want to learn how to build with a specific technology, we help you do that. You want to understand ways to approach some of this thing called tech, we help you do that, right? Our job is to help people do the thing they want to do, period. I had a friend, I want to say this was about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, who reached out and said they wanted to make this transition. I just found out yesterday that they got a new job as well and will be starting their new job on Monday. How exciting. I'm not allowed to share any personal information. I can't do that. But I'm always happy to give shout outs to people doing amazing things. Amazing things. Wheelchair Sean is in the house, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you, Sean. It's good to see you. Happy to have you with us today. Today, as usual, every Saturday we stream. We start 9 a.m. I'm a little nasally today. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to blame it on our terrible weather. It actually has not been a great summer. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's been a fantastic, like, for me, I got a lot going on personally to celebrate, but the weather has been horrible. It's been either way too hot. Here, I live just outside of Philadelphia. The trash people went on strike. Now the trash has been picked up. Thank God. I no longer see trash all over the place. Shout out to the workers getting what they needed to from that. But when it's not super hot, it's super rainy. And so we just have trees are just down. It's all over the place. We had another storm come through here. It's been a terrible summer weather-wise. I don't know about y'all. It's been absolutely horrible. So I'm hoping that things turn around. Also, shout out to my kids. So my kids are watching as well. I'm going to give them a cheer. I kind of bribed them this morning. So I never share their information. They're not allowed to be on stream, to protect their privacy. But I kind of bribed them this morning. They said, we're working on a thing because, kids screen time. Oh, so I'm like, okay, look, if you read for an hour, you get screen time for an hour. So the kids, it's Saturday morning. I woke up at, I don't know, let's call this 7:15. It's 9:09 here locally. The kids woke up sometime before me and said, oh no, we've been reading since we've woken up. So then I said, okay, look, while I stream, you can have free screen time, right? Like you can do whatever you want on your screens. I'll give you that time for free. But any other time you have to earn it by doing something else, right? So they go, I said, well, how long have you been reading? They were like 2 hours. I was like, wait a minute. You can't have been reading for 2 hours. Like I had to feed you. At some point you stopped and ate. Like, what are we talking about here? So my kids are hanging out downstairs. They're hanging out on their screens. They're watching me on the big screen. Shout out to them. I love, they crack me up. They just crack me up. But yeah, we're in the final weeks of summer here. I don't know about you all. We have about a month actually left before they go back to school. I know some friends of mine, they have kids returning to school down in the South. I think some went back last week. Some are going back next week. I have some other friends who are up north, up near Massachusetts, who their kids don't go back to school around the same time as mine, around Labor Day. So yeah, we let's hope summer turns around for us so we can get a little bit more out of it and squeeze just a bit more and some fun there, and go from there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take this last minute. We're gonna do this to formally pay the bills, and then I'm gonna get started on the thing we're working on. I need to just take a moment. Let me pause the music. Okay, so I need to take a moment and get a little serious. I need to give a major shout out to some fantastic people, okay? I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do, or to have gotten to this place in my career without some of the fantastic people who have helped me get to all things Off Zero. Now, I shared, if you've just joined, I shared earlier, I am currently in between jobs. So yesterday, I think I put a tweet out yesterday, and I put a message out on Blue Sky and all the places. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it goes. Okay, so I put a message out yesterday, and actually it triggered quite a bit of conversation. A number of friends have checked in on me because they thought that I got unemployed, or I got laid off, which is a whole other story. Hold on one second. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, here we go. So I put a message out yesterday. Just shut down my Okta laptop for the last time. Incredibly grateful for the amazing experiences I've had over the past 3.5 years. And I really am. New job loading, stay tuned. But before we talk about the new job, I want to give an amazing shout out to the folks over at Okta, specifically the folks supporting Off Zero, but also the folks over at Okta. And I'll tell you why. Some time ago, I made the decision that it was time for me to move on. I won't get into the details on why, but I made the decision, right, that for where I was in my career, I was ready to take the next step. And yesterday, or really this past week, more and more folks have slowly figured out that I was leaving. 2 days ago, I sat down to record a video to just say thank you. And I built out the mailing list of people. And there were 100 people. I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. There were 100 people on this list to receive this video. I want to say in the last 24 hours, I've talked to, I think, about 25 or 30 of those people, all just sharing gratitude and appreciation for the work that we've done together. And I'm so thankful. I really am. It is a humbling experience to get to do this work and to chat with people who do this work with you, who appreciate the work that you do with them, who can acknowledge the impact of the work that you do with them, and to just be thankful. And so I really want to give a shout out to everyone who I've had the chance to connect with over at Okta, who have helped support us over the past 3 years, and me over the past 3.5 years, supporting the DevRel team. We have done some fantastic things together. I have grown so much as a people leader, so much as a developer relations leader, so much as a strategist and a proper developer, and it's really because of them. So as it's time for me to sign off from Okta, and I did last night. Everything's going back today. I'm just taking a moment to express gratitude. Yeah, we don't see this as much these days, so I want to put that out there. And I'm going to do a follow-up post on LinkedIn. I'm not ready yet. I need some time to emotionally come down. But I'm going to put a follow-up post up on LinkedIn to just say thank you as I get ready for the next chapter of my career. And I'm very excited for what's to come. I think you all will be as well. I shared earlier that my birthday is next week. All right, so we're streaming today. Next week, I turn 40. The week after, we'll be back. Right, I literally my birthday's next Saturday. So I won't be live next Saturday, but I will be the week after. And when I come back, I'm going to share what's going on next, which I'm very excited about. Like, y'all have no idea how excited I am. I'm pretty sure folks are going to like let the cat out of the bag, but I'm very excited for this next chapter. And we'll talk a little bit then about why this is my next chapter. We'll talk a little bit about where I'm going, what I want to do, what I want to get out of the opportunity, and so on and so forth. So I'm very excited. Yeah. Okay, now let's turn the music back on. Let's get our background music back. And there we go. And let's talk about why and what we're doing together today here. So when I started to stream in January again, I said, hey, there's a couple of apps I want to build. And we started building some of these apps, and some of them I'm still working on. Very excited about this. One of them is a fractions app. I'm using more AI to actually build that app than I expected. So that's interesting. But over the weeks, I've realized that I need an app to help automate my stream workflow. So I stream for about an hour, then I download the streams. Then I take those downloads and grab the transcripts from them. Then from the transcripts, I start to draft out some blog content and some social media posts. I need to get to the spot where I'm also doing like video snippets, but I want to automate as much of this as possible. So last week, we spent some time doing some architecture work and trying to understand like what this was all going to look like. And that went incredibly well. In fact, I'll show it to you when we bring the screen back up. Sort of where we landed last week, because I have the conversation. I was just chatting with Copilot about it, right? Nothing special. There's no need for me to be doing anything any more special than that, you know. And then we started building out, off of the stream, I started building out the repo, right? So I have this code open sourced as well, I believe. I know it's in GitHub. I don't know if I've open sourced it, but we can fix that today. And so today is very much, we're going to get this back to a spot where now people can actually contribute. So if it's not open sourced, it will be by the end of today. Additionally, I've built it all with .NET, right? Y'all know I'm a .NET fanboy. You're going to slowly, because of what's coming next in my professional career, you're going to slowly see me add more languages to the stream. I can't talk about yet why, but you'll slowly see it happen over the next few weeks and months. So I'm excited for that. But for this app, we are using .NET, we're using Aspire, we're using Azure Functions. I didn't realize Azure Functions integrated into .NET Aspire. There's so much fun stuff happening. And so with that, let's actually hop to it. I'm going to try to go to the top of the hour, and then we'll check in on the small people and see how they're doing. And we'll see how much more time we can get out of the stream, okay? So let's hop into it as soon as my mouse click button works. There it goes. Okay, so this was our conversation last week. We talked about a lot of things. I mean, look at this. I could just keep going. We talked about so many things. And in effect, let me see if I can just get Copilot to give me a rundown on where we are, okay? Let me just ask, hey, can you give me a status update on the last thing, or a reminder on all of the things we talked about? I want to see if this works. The eagle-eyed among you will realize that I'm using Copilot in my web browser, not the local Windows app. The reason why is there's a bug in the local app. I can't figure it out, but because of the fact that we added a mermaid diagram to this, it's like acted all the way up. So yeah. Okay, here we go. So I asked it to give me, and I didn't even spell give correctly. That's how you know it's Saturday morning. I asked it to give me a recap. Here's the full recap of everything we covered. Yeah, we called the app Streamweaver, okay? So the vision is to automate the live stream workflow, right? Which is fantastic. The intention is for it to take all of the things that I do and to do them for me, okay? And so we're going to build it. I just said this. We're going to build it with .NET. We're going to build it with Azure Functions and some Aspire and Blazor with the front end. And sure, right? Make it clean, modular. I don't care as much about that part. Like, people will get that in open source, but whatever. So I said to it, hey, it'd be best that we do an event-driven workflow, right? Whenever the stream ends, things automatically start to happen. So we have a stream processor function, which will download the blob and extract the transcript using AI. Then we have more AI getting used as a part of the content generator to help create suggested blog topics and copy based off of the stream, as well as for social media. So that's cool. Then we have this notification service because I need to have something that updates things for our UI. So all this stuff is happening, right? It's just running in the background. We need to be able to update a UI to be able to say, hey, here's where the current status is. Now, there we go, back in focus. I'm hoping to use Azure Queues, right? So I want this to be something that is very much event driven, right? So something happens, we drop it on the queue. Gets picked up, something else happens, so on and so forth. I want to be super cheap. So we're using the basic storage. I don't need Cosmos DB. I don't need, I could probably set up a Postgres instance. I really just need basic service. I don't need much more than this. And because I want to keep all of the infrastructure lightweight, we're using as much cloud hosted services as possible, right? That's why you have Azure SignalR service as an example. Then apparently, so I didn't realize this. If you're a member of the .NET community and you're watching, I would love to understand what you knew about this. I did not know that you could use .NET Aspire and Azure Functions together. I only learned that outside of the stream. I was shocked. I had not realized this, okay? Of course, because we're using Aspire, we get a whole bunch of nice features like observability. This comes back to the thing I just said. And then we have some things that we're gonna try to use so that we share where it makes sense, but not create too much of a bottleneck. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So that's where that goes. And then we have wait, that's weird. Okay, there we go. Sorry. And then I said, hey, I want the UI to be very like this could be a static web app. Like it doesn't need to be anything that's too crazy. I'm probably at some point going to add identity in here. And I say at some point because what I'm thinking about is, if other people wanted to use this, they should be able to. Though I'm not going to start there. I'm just going to build this for me first. And then over time, I'll add features for that, right? And so I asked it to have a certain set of features in our UI. That's why you see this. Then here's our folder structure, right? Where it's sort of laying out the right way, the best way to do this, right? So you see, this is what we could put inside of Visual Studio for our actual, application. Now it's summarizing everything else, right? Some of this we talked about, but not all of it. What goes in the README. I'm going to be really honest. I am not. Okay. Let me. I'm going to say this out loud, and someone's probably going to judge me for this. I have no desire to write any tests for this. So I think I'm just going to have AI write the tests for me. We'll see. I can't remember this. I remember us coming up with the name Streamweaver, but I can't remember that. And then I can't remember that either. Okay. But that's everything we talked. So we talked with Copilot about this. We went back and forth. We came up with a mermaid diagram and all. Then I said, okay, let's actually go build this thing out. Hold on, let me close the window. I said, let's actually go build this thing out. So this is Visual Studio. Now, I don't really like, I'll come back to it. I'm going to finish my statement, but you're going to judge me. Okay. So just let it be what it is. I'm finding, somebody else said this as well. Like a very popular developer streamer said this. Okay. I'm finding that I don't like building with AI and Visual Studio. And the reason why is because the user experience is just not as intuitive as I would have expected it to be. So I'm struggling, okay? Like I'm navigating it, but I'm struggling, okay? But anyways, so I started setting up the projects. We have an Aspire application, we have service defaults, we have Azure functions, our shared models, we have our UI. Blazor's on this weird journey. I thought I was just gonna get a WebAssembly application. I got this web because of this hybrid deployment model. Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. So I say this to say, there's something here. Let me go run this and see where I left off. It's just, it's incomplete. Our job today is to get it complete. And as you can see, there's like these little locks next to everything. So everything's it's checked into a GitHub repo. I'm sorry, into a Git repo. I don't know if I've pushed it to GitHub. We're gonna find out together. Yeah, we're gonna find out together. Hold on. Okay, so wait a minute. Where's my window? Okay, there it goes. Oh, hold on. Hold on. So I do this every single time I stream. I really have to stop doing this, okay? Every single time I stream, I do a checklist of things. Y'all know what I forgot to do? My silly butt. Look at this. Runtime unhealthy. Runtime unhealthy. Runtime unhealthy. All of this is stuff that is very, 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 very much tied to Docker. You know what's not running on my machine? Docker. One second. Every single time I stream. And I don't just run Docker every time, right? Because why do that? Doesn't make sense. Hey, we got a viewer joining us from LinkedIn. Says, hey, Corey, happened to catch your event this morning. Glad to see you here. It's been a long time. Let's catch up. Shout out to our folks watching on LinkedIn. Yeah, we love them. That's exactly why we stream over there. Shout out to those folks. Now, I can't see who it was, so I'm going to have to go back and check after the fact. I don't know why it just says LinkedIn user. That's weird. But we will get that sorted. And thank you for watching. We're live on Twitch, we're live on LinkedIn, and we're live on YouTube. I never promote the YouTube because I don't really care for people. Like, I don't care where you join us from. I really just use YouTube to store the videos. But I love that people find us everywhere we are, right? So yeah, that's all that. Okay. So here's the other thing, right? Check this out. This is why you shouldn't leave me to run my own streams. So I just started Docker. Fantastic. It's giving me great information. I need to update Docker. So we're not going to do it now. Okay. We're not going to do it now. But just know that if you're using Aspire and in your Aspire application, you're using containers, you must, and in most cases you will, you must set up Docker. Okay. Now, how I'm using it, I'm using it for my storage, right? That's why that's Funk Storage. I'm using it to simulate SignalR. So SignalR is the technology we're using to send to communicate back and forth between the different functions and the web UI. And then I'm using it for storage, like for actual storage. So remember how we had something for like a table storage? We're using it for that, right? So this is where that shows up. And let me see if I can pull this up. Storage Explorer. Yeah, there it goes. See? There you go. And you can see that these are Docker. Hold up. Now I'm getting something else that I got to update. Do y'all see that? Version 1.39.1 of Storage Explorer is available. I just updated this thing. So I'm gonna close that for now. I'll update it later. Lesson of the day: don't be like me. Actually, update your things. But here, so as you can see, I can emulate what would actually be in the environment, right? In Azure. So that's good. And I'm running all that on with Docker containers instead of installing stuff on my machine, which I really like. I actually really like that approach. Okay, so let me now say we have a bunch of things running. You're probably like, okay, but what does this have to do with the actual application, right? Because there's our web UI as well, it's just basic. You're like, okay, well, what does this have to do with the actual application? So what we're going to do is come back down. Okay, so here go the two functions that I really wanted, all right? These two functions, one of them stream processor, download the blob and the transcript, and then content generator. Content generator creates the blob, right? So I'm gonna work on stream processor first, okay? And I think, yep, here it goes. I have the function project right here. So I have all of my Azure functions in different projects. Now, different people will have different opinions about this, right? I don't, you know, what you do is your business, right? Like, sure, you can put them in one, sure, you can put them in different. It doesn't. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that I have a clean way to separate it so that I can come in here and update it. And this is the function right here, right? So it's nothing special. And as you see, all I was doing was making sure that I could actually get this thing to post to a queue, right? So the way it works is it's a stream processor function that runs on an HTTP trigger. This HTTP trigger is meant to be a webhook. So what that means is when the say Twitch is finished with the with the stream, it can then send a webhook to say, okay, here's the information with all the stream on it, with the stream on it. So that way I can then at some point in here grab whatever it is that I need to from Twitch and then going ahead and start the process of getting the information, downloading the blob, taking the blob, putting it in blob storage, and then from there dropping something on the queue. So that's all this is. That's why I started this, right? This code is not optimized. Let me be very clear with you, right? And you'll see that as you see things like this. This is not the preferred way to do this. I don't know what the preferred way to do this is because I was looking this up. And so that's why you see it say here, hey, figure out how to get a connection string from an Azure Aspire injected configuration. Let me show you an example of why. So this is our function, right? And it's meant to be called with a post request. So you know what? Where's my HTTP file? I thought I threw one in here. Let me see if I do not have one. Let me see if it's in solution. Nope, it's not there. Okay, hold on. Can I just do like a TXT? Yeah, let me do that. And I'm just going to rename it. Where are you? Well, that's the wrong place. Okay, don't do that. Do it this way. Okay. This runs on what's my port number? Oh, it stopped. Okay, let's go start that back up. It's supposed to be 7208. So let's go figure out why it stopped. Okay, good. So let me come back down here, localhost 7208 slash, what's this function? I got this wrong the last time. The last time I did this, I got this wrong. I had to go find the actual thing. API stream processor. Okay. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. Let me just say, I'm pretty sure that I don't have to put anything in the body. But let's find out. Okay? Because, you know, at some point, this is going to become problematic. Then I'm going to go hit chat. I see we got some more messages and some friends. What's happened here? Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's not working. Hold on. Let me restart. No, don't do that. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit that one. Let me restart this debug. And while this restarts, let's say what's up to our friends. Janisco is here. Welcome, Janisco. Glad to have you. Blur John is here. Welcome, Blur John. Glad to have you. Exec 66 friends. That's funny. Listen, if this is your first time joining, definitely don't be shy. Please say hi. And if you're coming on back, welcome. We'd love to have you. Drop into chat. Say hello. Glad to have you both here on this Saturday morning. It is, hold on. It's sunny outside now. Let me take a look at something. Okay. No, that's not where I live. Okay. It is 70 degrees outside right now. Now, fingers crossed, I can cut the grass today because we have to do a bunch of things, but let's see. Okay. All right, here we go. Everything's running. That's good. Let's go back to Visual Studio. Nope, everything's not running. Let me go see what's going on here. Something keeps happening to kick this off. Oh, interesting. It's trying to connect to Signal R and it's failing. Why? Waiting for resource storage, waiting for resource, waiting for resource, waiting for resource ready. Finish waiting for resource, right? Waiting for resource ready, finish waiting for resource. Port 7071 is unavailable. That's weird. I wonder if this is because I'm using Aspire. So let me explain what I think is going on. And I'm likely to be wrong, okay? Okay. I have these Azure functions set up to use to run within the Aspire orchestration, right? And because of that, whenever Azure functions run, they typically run on this port 7071. But these I've noticed are running on different ports. I wonder if something's going on whereby Aspire thinks that it should be on 7071, and because that's the case, and it's not available, it's failing. So it closes out. I wonder if that's causing it to fail. Let's go find out together. Wait a minute. I wonder if I ask Copilot what's going to happen. This just said the same thing I said. This is not helpful. This is not helpful at all. Okay, so let me close that. So that didn't actually help me. But I wonder if this will help me. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm in the way. Bear with me. So my Azure function, actually, let me do it this way. I'm actually going to stick it in the other Copilot window. I'm going to see if this picks this up. So my Azure function is set up to run in .NET Aspire. However, It keeps getting this error message and shutting down. Let's go get the error message. How do I tell Aspire to set up the function on a different port? No, actually, let me do this differently. How do I fix this? Because I know Aspire is running the function on a different port than 7071. Go. Let's see what happens. I'm not doing that. That's bad advice. Huh. This could be interesting. I'll double check this to make sure that that's good, and I'm not doing that. Okay, so let me walk you through what these things are and why that is. Okay. So first step, update the host.json file. The host.json file is a file that is available for every Azure function. It says make sure it doesn't hard code anything related to ports. I'm guaranteeing you there are no ports in here. I know this for a fact. Watch. See? Anyone see the word port in here? No, not at all. So that was a waste of time. I told you, AI sometimes is just foolish. Next, update the launch settings.json file. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that this is already here, but let's go find out together. Oh, I was wrong. Wait. I need a sound effect for that. I should have been speechless. Here's what's interesting. If this says this here, then why didn't that work? Why didn't that automatically pick up? That's weird. Something's weird. Something weird is going on here. Something weird is going on here. Let me see something. Yeah, that should have automatically picked up. Meaning, when Aspire went to go run the functions project, it should have automatically picked this up. And it did. So why this thing still thinks it's running on a different port is wrong. Something's busted there. Because look at this. Look at this. If I come back here, in fact, I have 3 functions. Look, this one's still running. There are no issues. The endpoint is still there and working. Let me go see what's on. Let's go see what's in these logs. So something's busted. View the console logs. Huh. It is still trying to run this thing on 7071. That is interesting. Something is up here with the way that Aspire uses functions. I have to go do some research, which kind of sucks because this is not what I expected to do today. So let me sip some water and see what's going on. Let's go do a search. Microsoft.NET, no, .NET Aspire Azure functions. Go. See more. That doesn't tell me anything. Okay, let me go check these bullets. So check these bullets out. They tell us exactly what should happen. The app host project must reference this package. This package defines the necessary logic for the integration. Okay, so I'm gonna go check that first. Let me stop. I'm pretty sure that that's already there. Let me come here. Let me come here, go there. Manage NuGet packages. Installed. That's an insane number. My God. Oh, wait, they're updates. Hold on. Let me do a broad update of packages and see what happens. Let's just do a broad update of packages. Queues needs updates. So all of this needs updates because of 9.4. That's fine. I'm probably going to break something in the process, but that's okay. What's the rest of this? Huh? They won't tell me which. Oh, I have multiple versions installed. That's why. So we should just update these so that we're all running on the same version. That's fine. What's this? Okay, so let's update that to make sure we take care of the bindings for storage. So I'm curious about that. And then this looks like a broad update, so we should take that as well as this for 9.4. And then this, the rest of this looks like OpenTelemetry. Okay, so we'll update those as well. OpenTelemetry giving us all of the instrumentation and the data on all the things. Blah, 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 as the ray rays. So let's update that. Let's let that all just do what it does. Shouldn't take too long. I accept. Okay, now if I come back to manage NuGet packages and I refresh, okay, so that's good there. Now if I come to installed, yep, that's there. Now, let me see. Yeah, and there isn't an update because this is all preview, right? Like this stuff isn't finished yet. So seeing some of these issues may be okay. But that's done. Hey, what happened to my, okay, hold on. I think I closed the window by accident. 1 second. .NET, Aspire, Azure Functions. Here we go. Guide for using functions. Plop, 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 plop. Okay. Must have a project reference. I'm pretty sure we already have that. We're just double checking. We're being extra detailed. Dependencies, projects. There go our project references. So we're good to go there. If I come in here now, let's go see what this says. In the app host, include the project by calling add Azure functions on your instance. Use this method instead of add project. Yeah, we did that. Okay, to successfully configure. So we did all of that because that's what this says. Builder, add Azure functions, and you see there's 3 highlights. So that's all there. We're good to go there. And then we have the references and the things that we're waiting for. So it's not like, right? Like it's not like we're bothered, you know? So let me come back here. The functions project must reference 2.x versions of functions worker SDK. Also update any worker extensions to the 2x version. Okay, let me go to the functions project real quick. I once had someone tell me, this was this week, someone said, hey, a lot of this job is very much about being an investigator, and I so hear that. Ooh, look at this. Okay, wait, let me go back and see what they said. Azure Functions Worker, Azure Functions Worker SDK, Azure Functions Worker extensions. Huh. I don't see. Oh, wait. I was only looking at the browsed. Okay, so Azure Functions Worker is good. Functions Worker SDK is good. Functions Worker extensions is good. Okay, so let's just assume that that's the case for all of them. And we can always go check, but oh, this is interesting. I don't have this. Your program.cs file must use iHost application builder version of the host instance startup. Or maybe I do. Let's find out. This requirement means you must use functions applications that create builder. Let's go see. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I do. Here it goes. I do have it. There it goes right there. Okay, so let's keep going. Functions project should include a project reference to the service defaults. If your solution includes a service defaults, it does. Ensure that your functions project is configured to use it. So let's go see. That's set right there. And our references show that right here. So continue. Yeah. Don't care about that. App host project defines resources. Yep. Includes default. However, these permissions might not. Okay. For your use. No, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. .NET Aspire includes default connection permissions that can help you get started. Correct. These permissions might not be appropriate or sufficient. For scenarios that use Azure role-based access control, not my scenario, so we can just skip this. I'm still not seeing anything that says this should change. So this seems like this may be like a legitimate issue. That's fine. Yeah, I don't see anything there. I still don't see anything that makes me think this is like not right. Let me see if the update maybe fix this. And even this says the same thing. Avoid setting things in local settings.json other than the functions worker runtime setting. Because you want Aspire to be doing the thing there. I 1000% agree. Something is busted. Let's go run it again. I updated those packages. Let's see if that fixed it, but we'll learn together. After that, I have to take a break. I have to check on the small people and see how they're doing in my absence. They will probably tell me to keep streaming so they can get more screen time. Stay tuned. Okay, here we go. So that's doing what it does. Docker is running. Yeah. Running. Okay, now let's see if they stop. We're looking at these two specifically. Let's go take a look. Yeah, something is up in my configuration maybe. And what's interesting is if I go back and I come back here, you'll see this tries to run on 7071. So let me see something. Advice for running Aspire and multiple Azure functions. Because what may happen is I may need to combine my functions into one project. Ooh. Maybe somebody else had the same problem I had. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Check that out. Well, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Somebody else ran into the same thing. Let me see if this works. So I'm going to go back into our host project and I'm going to borrow something. I'm going to borrow these two lines. Okay. And I'm going to come here, stop that, go here. I have to get the port numbers for each of these. So let me close some things, open some things, come right here, come right here, go right there, go there. Uh-oh, looks like with setting is not a valid method. Oh, but then there's also this. No. Okay, so then let me do this then. Hold on. Let me comment that out. Let me go there, right? And then let me go to stream processor and change that port number. And that port number is 7208. So let's go back. 7208. Then let me borrow this. Go here. Go here. Go here. And let's go to content generator. Properties. And this is 7110. Go here, go here, go there, save. Then borrow that. And notification is on. Let's go find out. Properties, launch settings, 7031. So let's call that 7031. Okay, let me see if this runs. That's a good best practice. I almost wish they would just include that by default. Yup. Look at that. That fixed it. That fixed it. That's insane. That fixed it. So now if I come here and I come here, it knows that it's running on a different port. So I do wish, I don't know if there's a way for them to do this, but I do wish that they automatically set that, right? Because here's what happened. Each of these functions, I'm going to check this into source control too, by the way, but each of these functions is running on their own port. It'd be nice if Aspire sort of automatically had a way to determine what that port is and use it when in fact they start it up. So for now, I had to add this in here. I don't necessarily like it. It's a workaround. So yeah, let me take this off. Let me save that again. And then let me come back in here really quickly. We're right at the top of the hour. And now this works. So now let me come in very quickly and just do a send request. And I think that's not going to work actually now. Oh, it did work. Okay, good. Good. Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, look at that. Okay, so now if I F10 this thing, now the message should have nothing in it, right? Because I didn't send anything in the body. So we're working now. We've gotten to a spot where this thing is working. Let's clap. Let's cheers. I'm gonna take a break. Let me stop the debugging. Let me switch screens really quickly. I have to take a break. I have to check on the kiddos. We're gonna be right back. It's 1 minute past the hour. I'll be back about 6 minutes past the hour. I'm going to refill my water. We celebrate today's small victories. Yeah, celebrate the victories. Refill the water cup. Come on back. Come up with our goal for today. We don't have a lot more time. I'm meant to be done by 10 o'clock, and yet we got caught up. So we'll likely go until the half past the hour mark, and then after that, wrap this thing up. Yeah. In the meantime, stay tuned. We'll turn the music up. I'll be right back. Don't go too far. We'll talk soon. We're back. Let me turn the music down. Just a touch. Just a touch. There we go. We're back. We're live. Kiddo said they would entertain me doing this for a little bit longer, so we got until about the half past the hour mark. So yeah, friends, happy to be back. We've had quite the morning already. Quite the morning. Let me go check in my code. We just made some changes to make Azure play nicely with Azure Functions. So let me go check this in real quick. Updates, NuGet packages, plus allows Azure Functions to run on Aspire with port configuration. Different port configuration. Too bad I can't spell different port configuration. And the only thing I don't want to add is this. So I want to stage everything, right? And then I'm going to take this one out. What did I change here? I don't think I changed anything here. Yeah. So let's go ahead, commit staged. Okay. Then I want to keep this out for now. That's fine. Because I need to do some quick research. So let me come back to Copilot real quick. For triggering our application, does Twitch or YouTube fire a webhook when the stream is finished? This is fantastic. Okay, so this tells me exactly what I needed to know. So, yeah, what I'm going to need to do is that. Yeah, we're not going to, YouTube doesn't have anything. Twitch does have something. They have something called Event Sub. Let's go see what Event Sub looks like. That's fine. So that means I have to run HTTPS on port 443. That's fine. File and table list, types and notifications. Hold on. File and table list, types and notifications. Your handler must process. Contains the event data. See process in an event. Webhook callback. Got it. Okay. Revocation. Okay. Got it. Must respond to the notification request. Okay. That's fine. And there's a CLI. Okay. That's different. There's a bunch of stuff in the header to verify. Okay. That's good. And then to know what it is. And then here's the event message. Okay. Fine. So this tells me how to process the event using the signature if I need to. That's good. Of course, this is JavaScript. We'll have to do it with C#. That's fine. When an event that you subscribe to occurs, Twitch sends your event handler a notification message, contains the event's data, notification messages, set to notification. That's cool. The type field in the body identifies the type of event, and the event field contains the event data. Fine. Great. So this means I'm going to get something that says subscription and it says event, and then I got to process the event. Then I need to return a 200 something status code. Okay, fine. So how do I see what comes in the event? Let me see what they say for how to subscribe to an event. God, I wish they made this easier. Got it. So I have to do it using the webhooks transport. I got to pass an authorization header, a client ID, and a bunch of information. Okay. And then I have to check for HTTP 202. So because I need to subscribe to the event, I have to put that, dang it. I got to put that in my web application, which kind of sucks. Because the web application would need to be able to keep track of what events I'm subscribed to. And this means I have to authenticate. Dang it. Okay, so this means I have to add identity sooner than I expected to. Because it says I have to use a user access token only. I can't use an app access token. Bastard. Okay. So let me go talk to the Copilot real quick. In order to manage the subscription, I need to use a user access token on Twitch. I'm thinking to add that to my Blazor application. But what? Then I'm thinking to use a third-party ID provider. Any suggestions? Any recommendations? I could use something like Auth0 for this, honestly, if I'm being honest. I probably can. Oh, look, they said the same thing. They said the same thing. It's either going to be intro or Auth0. There's no need for me to use any of the others. Yeah. I'm probably just going to use intro. Oh, I just got a text message. 1 second. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Let me go see what this says. Non-BFF pattern, interactive auto. I do not have BFF. BFF being back end for front end. Not best friends forever. Where's my drone? I thought I hit that button. My bad. Oh, they have some samples here too. For intra, you can use add identity web app from Microsoft Web Identity Package, which adds both OIDC and cookie authentication with the appropriate defaults. Sample app guidance in this article don't use Microsoft Identity Web. Of course they don't. Because why would you just, you can tell me, but not make it easy. Guidance demonstrates how to configure OIDC manually for any OIDC connection. Okay, so let's hit this. Secure and ASP.NET Q. Right, cause that's really what I need. This version of the article implement without BFF. BFF useful for making authenticated requests to. Yeah, that's true. Why are we not using backend for front end? Because I don't need to have a backend for the front end. I want the front end to be really lightweight. Blazor web app uses auto. Let me go just double check where my Blazor web app uses. I don't think we do. I think we use WebAssembly. Yeah, we just use WebAssembly. So I may have to change it to use auto. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to. That sucks. Oh, that sucks big time. Okay. Let me see what Copilot says. I need to add auth to this so I can authenticate to Twitch. What might I change to be able to use Microsoft? What is it called? Identity Web. And then I don't want it to do agent. And then let me add the project. Well, I can add this file. No, I want to add the project. What's the name of this project? Oh, it's web.client. Web. Go. Let's see what they say. Mm-hmm. Oh, so they're telling me not to use Microsoft Identity Web. Okay. I wanted something that would automatically do the back end for me, though. Because otherwise, I have to build it myself, and I don't want to. Yup. I don't like building auth myself. Look, and then they told me to use Auth0. And then they told me to use Auth0. Yo, it's quickly becoming a sponsored stream. Yeah, let's take the Auth0 approach. Let me see if it actually gives me good advice. Let's take the Auth0 approach. That's funny. It's the first time that's ever happened. Where I've been writing code and a reason to use Auth0 has come up from ChatGPT. Or in this case, GitHub Copilot. That is hilarious. Yeah, that's exactly what I would have expected. And then I got to fix the UI so I can add a login button. And I got to authorize things. Yep. And then I'll configure it in what you call it. Okay. So now let me just ask one more question. Okay. Final question. What if I wanted to use Intra instead of Auth0? And the only reason why I'm considering Intra is because there's so much. Yeah, there's so much that I have going on inside of Azure that it just makes it easy to keep everything in Azure. I think I'm going to take this approach instead of using Auth0. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let's go do the Intra thing. Because I don't want to build auth myself. That's the first thing, right? Like that's a terrible idea. I'm going to log in off screen. Okay. Oh, wait. Let me, I have to check one thing. Sorry, I forgot. Compare pricing, because I want this to be free. I don't have to pay for off. That's not a good, and I know Auth0's free. I don't care as much about branding. Yeah, I think, how would I configure Twitch with intro? Let me see what it says. Because I think I'm going to go with the intro. I get more users out of the box. But what I would have to do is set it up as a, I would have to set it up within the, within intro as a OAuth connection. I'm pretty sure. Yup. Okay, I'm very quickly running out of time. I got 2 minutes left. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to fix this right now, but I have to do it off stream because I gotta very quickly transition to taking care of some stuff around the house. So let me wrap this up. Here's where we're sort of at, right? I want to subscribe to Twitch events. In order to subscribe to Twitch events, I need to authenticate as a Twitch user. In order to authenticate, I have to add in an identity solution to my application. I was going to put it off, but as with all things identity, you can't, you can only put it off until you can't anymore. And now I can't. So because that's the case, I am going to select between Intra and Auth0 to use for my identity. I was thinking to go with Intra. I actually may swap. I think I just changed my mind because Auth0 setup is really easy for this. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that that part's working, come back and update the UI. And then once I update the UI, so that way there's a proper login and a logout button, then I'm going to go ahead and use that to create like a subscription management page within Blazor. I will likely do most of this off stream because I want to make progress on this before the next time I stream. The next time I stream will be in 2 weeks as we celebrate the birthdays. So let me switch screens real quick and sort of set the expectations. We're not live next week. Next week, I'm celebrating my birthday. Shout out to me turning 40, right? And then week after that, we're live again. I'm going to come then share some big news about what's happening next, right? Where's Corey going and will Corey be employed? The second is I'm going to spend some time recapping the setup that I did for all things auth and probably the subscription management page. And then after that, we're going to get started on actually moving data around through the function. So I'm excited for this. Yeah. Yeah. So reminder, we're not live next week. We're live the week after, right? Next week, I will be off of the grid. You can message me all you want. I will not see it. I will not respond to it. I will completely not. This is my time that I take every year to sort of disconnect and focus back in on me. And so I'm really, 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 really excited about that. I think that's it. That's all I'm allowed to say. I'm out of here, friends. Happy summer. Happy August 1st. Happy belated birthday to a number of friends, including my good friend Jerome Hardaway. His birthday was yesterday over at Vets Who Code. Shout out to Vets Who Code. And more. It is your boy Corey Weather saying peace, friends. I'm out of here. See you in 2 weeks. Ciao.